Unfortunately, folks, today we are not talking about an American Express card with Scrooge McDuck wearing a Supreme hoodie. Today we are talking about Dilara Findicoglu. Beautiful deathliness was not a description that anybody used in fashion until Alexander McQueen, and since the man's untimely death, most designers have not dared touch the genre because, McQueen kind of threw down the gauntlet so hard that everyone's a little scared to touch it. Everyone until Dilara Findicoglu. One of the best ways to measure quality of new designers is to see if they can do a lot with a small budget, and Dilara excels in every way here. She loves tailored clothing and keeps most of her ideas close to the model's bodies, making frequent use of corsets and non-stretch skin-tight fabrics. This isn't an analysis episode, so I'm not going to elaborate on the symbolic mechanics of what's going on here, but when I see individual runway looks like this one, or like this one, or like this one that has for sure come across your feed, I feel so sure that Dilara needs a bigger budget so that she can just burn something into our collective brains, even more than she already has. And sometimes designers can get really insulted if you compare them to other great established designers. I unfortunately have never met Dilara, but the way that I know that she would love the McQueen comparison is because she's literally taken the first uniquely McQueen silhouette, the Bumster, and evolved it for modern day, and also managed to make it a little bit more scandalous too. Dilara is one of the brightest lights of London Fashion Week. She unfortunately took a break this last Fashion Week, which is totally cool. I cannot wait to see more work from her. We're on bated breath over here. As you might have inferred from the title, this is the designers that in 2024 I would like to see take off into the stratosphere. Mame Kuraguchi. Mame Kuraguchi is from another planet. She's one of the only fashion designers working in the calendared runway scene that doesn't seem to be taking cues from anybody else. Japanese designers of all disciplines are known for cohesive details. That's certainly here with everything that Mame does, but even beyond that, Maiko, the designer's full name is Maiko Kuraguchi. But even beyond that, Maiko's work needs to be examined closely because she's become a template for weaving cultural history into contemporary fashion. So to walk that out a little bit, for decades, fashion designers from every walk of life all over the world have tried to weave their own culture, where they're from, into contemporary clothing design, and that often has mixed results for a really specific reason. When you try to take your cultural codes, the thing that ultimately are meant to set your people group apart, and then try to put that on the global runway stage for everyone, it can just get complicated and confusing. Maiko's clothes feel fully Japanese, but they somehow avoid this pitfall. And I'm not yet fully sure mechanically how it's avoiding that pitfall, but it feels so approachable to just be worn by anyone. Maybe it's all just from her core inspiration. Maiko models full collections after an overlooked Japanese art form from her history. A few seasons ago, she explored bamboo basket weaving with some just fantastic results. And this past season, she explored the intricacies of traditional Japanese porcelain. Additionally, Maiko's clothes are at a fantastic price point for the luxury market. Her textiles are wonderful. I'm honestly kind of surprised she hasn't blown up yet. Zomer. So up front, just to give the main reason why they're included here, Zomer had the best premiere runway show that I've seen in a very long time. When you learn about the two designers behind the brand, it's easy to see why the premiere was so strong. Both have worked in fashion for a long time. They've always wanted to start a brand together, but they were smart. They waited, they gained a shit ton of valuable industry experience, and then they finally went in when they were ready. The difference between this and the average first runway show is like a night and day difference. They're clearly not afraid to use color, and there's just these great uses of more structural elements like this insane wood piece. And huge surprise to me for a first collection, their textiles are great as well. I got to see the whole collection up close at Dover Street Market just days after the show premiere. Most new collections from designers that start with big budgets or small budgets, they usually just end up using a ton of polyester because it's just cheap. Zomer uses very, very little poly. They seem to greatly prefer using wool, which always is going to make me happy. Both designers also have a great sense of humor. They don't really love the camera. Like when we were interviewing him, they just asked that their voices and faces be left out. But instead of making everything like brooding and mysterious because they themselves would like to remain anonymous, they opted to have avatars of themselves. So two kids who vaguely do look like the designers took a bow at the end of the runway show. It was extremely cute. I cannot wait to see how Zomer evolves on this world that they've created and all these individual garments in the collection. I say this a lot, but holy shit do I ever mean it here. Zomer is off to a fantastic start. While I clean this filthy table, you should take this opportunity to open a new tab and join the Patreon so that you can see all of the awesome videos that you're missing out on. There's a ton of exclusive videos. We have a wardrobe tour that I run. We have all these extended interviews. We have a ton of exclusive episodes. We have extended episodes of the Margiela series. You get to join the private Discord server. There are tens of hours of content on there just waiting for you. Join the Patreon right now. I am so excited to talk about this one. Let's talk about Marina Yee. Marina Yee is the most underrated member of the Antwerp Six. She was a teacher for years and has finally retaken up the gauntlet to start her own label in her own right again. And I was lucky enough to interview her just recently. We sat down for a full hour. That full hour, I mean, not a coincidence, is on the Patreon, and you can watch that right now if you join it. But Marina Yee was able to unlock a really excellent point to me. Okay, I really love electronic music. I promise this is related. Sometimes I will hear music by a newer producer and I'll think, this isn't good music really. It's just that they're trying to be more Daft Punk than Daft Punk, and they are. Right? Like in all genres of music and all forms of art, there are not people who really like are doing anything interesting. They're just taking an established genre and then just making it mega extreme. Okay, so the birth of deconstruction in fashion started with like Rei Kawakubo and Yohji Yamamoto, and then there was the second wave with designers like the Antwerp Six. And now that we've gotten more into like the fourth wave of deconstructive fashion designers, there are a lot of them where they make things that just they just look like bummers to wear. I'm not going to show any examples because I'm not trying to dunk on anybody, but deconstruction, it's really easy for that to get taken too far. Marina Yee has been this just breath of fresh air because all of her clothes are deconstructed. All of them have something very unusual about them, but it is crisp, excellent execution of deconstruction. It is deconstruction boiled down to its most primary details, and those details are just performed perfectly. No garment that I felt in her showroom were standard clothes, yet everything felt like it could easily become a central part of anyone's wardrobe. It's said all the time, but it's true, quality really does make the difference, and there's solid quality the whole way through this collection. Occasionally, Marina will take a single piece and turn it into an abstract piece of deconstructed art, but even then, even with its extremeness, these special pieces feel like they were meant to be worn by people going through their day. Marina Yee is my favorite designer that I have found this past year. If you live anywhere close to a stockist that carries her clothes, I strongly recommend you go feel them and try them on. Peter Do. I cannot believe that I have been making these videos for years and have somehow managed to leave Peter Do off of the list of upcoming designers, so we're going to just remedy that right now. And now may truly be the most appropriate time because Peter Do is accelerating at a tremendous pace. Outside of his historic appointment at Helmut Lang, an appointment that is very well deserved, Peter's eponymous brand is more refined than ever, and his work truly is so exciting that it's been co-opted by tons of fast fashion companies. And yet, Peter's work manages to be innovative. It continues to be innovative. While Zara and H&M will likely continue to sell jackets with, open backs or whatever rip-off stuff that's based off of Peter's work, none of it really can compare with how brilliantly adjustable and multi-purpose his clothes really are. And this past season in Paris, he reminded us, once again, how this ultra-sleek, minimalist look can be taken to a deeply romantic and beautiful place. Thank you so much for joining me. Go join that Patreon so you can watch all the interviews and have the best time of your life. I love you so much. See ya.